Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tech Tip Talk. I'm Sarah Walworth, and I'm a knitting tech editor. So here on Tech Tip Talk, we answer your questions about tech editing, knitting design, and knitting pattern writing. We invite you now to put any questions you have for us into the chat, and we'll do our best to answer during the session. If you notice, I'm by myself today. Christina McGrath, my co-host, is not able to be with us, but she is in the chat, so go ahead and say hi to her there. So today we are super excited to have Nancy Ricci here on the broadcast. She's an incredibly inspiring knitwear designer based in New York City. She loves everything and anything yarn and is passionate about the important role that designers and patterns play in our industry. She's been working in yarn shops for over 15 years, has been designing and writing patterns ever since she learned how to knit. We have been in love with her and following her for so long, and we cannot wait to ask her all our questions and bask in her wisdom. So let me go ahead and bring her onto the broadcast. Come on in, Nancy.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Hi. And hold on a second. My printer is going for some reason, so sorry for the noise.
Okay.
Welcome to Tech Tip Talk. Thank you for being here with us today. I'm so excited to chat with you.
Thank you for having me, Sarah and Christina. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm excited. I'm very excited for this interview.
So one of our top fans here is Anita, and she's from Denmark. It's very exciting to see you, Anita, and Leslie, and Jen, and Liz. Ruth is here, and Amanda, Marie, and Victoria. Thank you all for joining us live. Feel free to throw any questions you have for Nancy into the chat. I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into the questions. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
How did you get started working in the knitting industry and writing patterns specifically?
All right. Yeah, beautiful question. How did we get started? Right. I came to the United States. First of all, everybody, welcome for being here and listening to this interview. I'm very grateful that you're here. How did I start? I came to the United States in 2005. I'm originally from the Netherlands. I grew up in the Netherlands and met a New Yorker in the year of 2001. I met a crazy New Yorker on the island of Bali while I was visiting the land of my ancestors, Java, Indonesia. And after I visited Java, I went to Bali and I met this New Yorker in 2001. Long story short, I married this New Yorker, Trevor, in 2005. So I came here and I was waiting for my green card. I was waiting for my green card and my work permit, and I couldn't do anything. I was crawling up the walls. And then my husband said, hey, one of my coworkers is a knitter. Would you like to learn how to knit? And I said, sure. I have nothing to do. So, yes, I would like to learn how to knit. And this was in 2006, in the year of 2006. And when yarn and knitting was presented to me and I did my first stitch, I was like, where have you been all my life? What is this? And the first time I went to a yarn shop, my head went like this. My head exploded. And I said, how come I never knew about this world? What is this magic? What are these beautiful colors and this gorgeous yarn? So that was in 2006. And from the get-go, I started to design because I didn't know how to read patterns, and I wanted to make a fingerless glove. And I was looking online, and all the fingerless gloves that I saw online were in the round. And I was too new of a knitter to work with double pointed needles. I tried, but I was too new of a knitter. Also, I was on the road with my husband's job. I was on the road, and many a time I would be in a hotel room all by myself, didn't have access to transportation, so I was completely completely by myself, and I was like, I need to figure stuff out. So I would go online and I would look for tutorials online. And then finally I said to myself, look, I can't find a pattern that is a fingerless glove and that is not knitted in the round. I need to find something that is knitted flat. And the vocabulary I didn't have back then. I just needed a little piece to knit. And then I said to myself, what is a fingerless glove? A fingerless glove is a rectangle that you fold over, and then you leave an opening for your thumb. You seam it down here and you seam it up here, and that's all that it is. So I started to figure things out from the get-go. And because I didn't have rapport with any other knitters, because I was all by myself, I thought everybody did that. I really honestly thought that every knitter would figure out how to do certain things. I had that I had that belief because I
On
didn't.
their figure it out on their own, right?
Yes, and this was in 2006, and we arrived in Portland, Oregon. I saw somebody. He is here from Portland, Oregon.
Yes, Jen is.
Yes, Portland, Oregon. I arrived in Portland, Oregon in the year of 2006, 2007. And the first time I set foot in Portland, Oregon, I was like, ah, this is home. This feels like home. And I remember taking a deep breath, and I smelled the scent of Portland, Oregon. It was so sweet to me. And also the air on my skin was so soothing. And I said to my husband, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here. I'm staying here. So I went pure on my intuition, and I did. I stayed in Portland, Oregon for 2 years. But in Portland, Oregon is where I found out that not every knitter figures how to knit something from scratch. I was sitting in a yarn cafe. It was called Mabel's Yarn Cafe. It's no longer in business, but this was so long ago, 2006, 2007. And I was knitting one of my fingerless gloves. I had figured out how to do a cable, how to run a cable in the middle. And I was sitting in the cafe and I was doing my stuff. And there were three knitters next to me at another table, sipping tea and knitting. And one knitter says to me, oh, that's a really cute fingerless glove pattern. And I said, oh, yeah, I just did this and that. And then I figured out, da, 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 da. And I was saying that to her. And I said to her, yeah, it's very easy to figure it out. And she looked at me and she said, honey, no, I need a pattern. I don't figure out things. I need a pattern. And that was the first time that I noticed, oh wait, not everybody does this. So I wrote everything down for her. At the spot, I wrote everything down for her at the
Wow.
spot and gave her the pattern. And I was quite baffled. I was
Yeah.
quite baffled that not everybody does that.
People need instructions.
Yes, and I didn't realize that. I did not realize that. Right there and then it became clear to me that not everybody figures how to make something from scratch.
So writing patterns
Yes,
is so important
yes, yes,
to makers because there are some of us who can figure things out on our own,
yeah,
but the majority of us need someone to instruct us, to tell us.
yes,
Either we can't figure it out on our own or we don't want to. Like there's a lot of times I just want to work from a pattern.
yes. And
So let's go a little deeper. What impact do designers have on our industry? Why are patterns at the center of everything?
so I have a lot to say about that. I have a whole lot to say about that. We as knitwear designers and pattern writers, because those are two different things, right? You can design knitwear, or you have an idea and you have a concept and you want to bring it into reality. That's one thing. But then you have to write instructions so that knitters or crocheters, so that they understand what needs to be done. So those are two different things. Writing a pattern is a completely different skill set, and then also grading, that's also a completely different skill set. But let's just keep it to the patterns. Knitwear designers, I want to say to you, and I want to speak directly to you. You have a very important role in this industry. Your work, your creativity helps others in the industry to knit an item. Your work is crucial in this industry. I worked for a yarn company called Jade Sapphire. They had a new yarn on the market, and they presented this yarn to one of the magazines. And the first thing the magazine asked, do you already have a pattern for your new yarn? That's the first thing that will be asked. If a yarn shop has a new yarn and presents that to the public, the first thing the audience, the public, will ask, is there a pattern for that? Without a pattern, nothing happens. Nothing happens without a pattern. You have this beautiful skein of yarn. You have this gorgeous skein of yarn. You have all these yarns. But if you don't know what to make with this yarn, nothing is going to happen. And you all know how knitters always ask for a pattern. Is there a pattern? Pattern? Where's the pattern? Is there a pattern? Where can I find the pattern? That is the number one question. So knitwear designers, your role in this industry is crucial. You have a very important and a very valuable role. And I want you to never forget that. Please don't forget the importance of your role in this industry. Also, well, don't get me started.
Please start.
A lot of knitwear designers and newbies, especially newbies, they have a hard time putting a price on the pattern. But not only newbies, also knitwear designers that have been in the industry for a very long time. Um, example. I made this fingerless glove with a little bow, and this fingerless glove was simply a rectangle and then two little rectangles for the bow. This fingerless glove, I wanted to put it out with jade sapphire, and jade sapphire was very important in this little fingerless glove. And I said to my husband, I can't put this out. This is so easy. It's just three little rectangles that you put together. People are going to laugh at me. People are going to poo poo me. People are going to say, look at her with her stupid design. All these things that I would say to myself. And I bet you there are knitwear designers out there that say that to themselves. I can't put that out. That is so simple. Other knitwear designers will laugh at me. So my husband says to me, Nancy, stop it. Stop. Put that pattern out with jade sapphire and just see what happens. If nobody buys, it's fine. And if people like it, it's fine too. Well, I put it out with jade sapphire, and it was the number one selling pattern. And because of this selling pattern, they moved a lot of yarn. A lot of yarn. And they said to me, my gosh, Nancy, that little pattern of yours sells so much yarn. So, knitwear designers, this is your role. You have a crucial role. Your work makes yarn sell, okay? Your work makes yarn sell. And also, if you have a hard time putting a price on your work, and please let me ask you to put a price on your work. When I was a newbie knitwear designer, I didn't have any market value because nobody knew me. And I was like, it's just a fingerless glove. I'm just going to put it out for free. And I have put out many, many designs for free. But I want to tell you, if you hesitate to put a price on your work, let me ask you why. Why do you hesitate to put a price on your work? Let me guess. Let me guess your thoughts. You'll be like, there's so many patterns like this out there. Who's going to buy it? Oh my God. $8 for this nothing pattern that I made? Ugh, I cannot possibly ask $8. That's just too much. Knitwear designers, please know this. You're seeing it from this point of view that you are not worthy to be paid for your work. That's your point of view. How can you possibly ask $8 for this nothing pattern that you designed? you think like that. But let me invite you. I'm giving you the invitation to have a different point of view. Your work will be picked up by a knitter, and your work will be picked up by a yarn company. And this yarn company is happy because your work will have their yarn go. They can sell their yarn because of your work. And also, the knitter is very happy with the instructions that you wrote because the knitter will have a hard time figuring that out by herself. Plus, this knitter will make an item for a loved one. This knitter will make an item for their mom. This knitter will make an item for their children. This knitter will make an item because they're going through a very, very hard time. Maybe this knitter was just diagnosed with cancer and they needed something to focus on, and they needed something soft to wear, and they needed soothing things to do. And this knitter was able to do that because of your work. Because of your work, a family member was very happy. A family member was gifted an item made by their aunt, made by their mother, made by their niece, whoever. So we have two very happy people, the knitter and the recipient. And that's because of you, knitwear designer. That's because of you. That's the value that you bring to the industry. And I really want you to realize that. So it's not only about the money that you're asking for your pattern, it's so much more. It's so much more than that. So may I invite you to have that point of view, that what you bring to the market, to be very technical, what you bring to the market has so much value. Please understand that, because without you, where would we be? We wouldn't know what to knit.
We wouldn't know how many stitches to cast on.
Yes. And you did the work, you did the calculations, and then in comes the tech editor. The tech editor helped you to create this pattern, to create this pattern. There's a lot of work involved in putting a pattern together. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know.
So thank you everyone for joining us live. If you have any questions for Nancy, feel free to throw them into the chat and we can ask. So let's move into this mindset issue a little.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of designers deal with negative feedback.
Yeah.
How have your experiences helped you manage these emotions that come from that?
Okay. I have actually a beautiful story. Um, I, for the longest, was afraid. I was afraid to put out a pattern. I had a blog, and I wanted to put out a pattern, but I was afraid to, because ay, 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 putting yourself out there takes courage, and you, the people here are professionals in the industry. You know how much courage that takes to put yourself out there, because you put yourself in a vulnerable position. It's a vulnerable position. You say, hey, everybody, I made something and I present this to you. This is my work. I present this to you. I hope you like it. Please be nice. You know, you have these feelings of, please, I made this and I'm very proud of it. I hope you like it. I hope you will take the gift that I give you, and I hope you'll be nice to me. Well, the first time I put out a pattern, it was so scary, and I didn't want to do it. But this is also another funny story, actually a really good story. I went to a football game, an American football game, for the very first time while I was in Pittsburgh. Look, I'm from the Netherlands. And also I don't like sports. I'm not a sports person, but it so happened that we went to this football game, and I remember how impressed I was with everything, because everything was new to me. This thing called tailgating. I was with big eyes. I was looking at, like, what is happening here? What is this thing? And then I went into the stadium, and it was in Pittsburgh. The Steelers were playing, and these players were depicted as demigods.
Mm-hmm.
I was completely floored. I was like, wow, what is all of this? And then I was watching the game, and these big guys would go after this ball, and then but bam, they would slam into each other, and this guy would be on the floor, and I would be like, he's never gonna recover. This guy is never gonna. He was hit so hard, he will never recover. But lo and behold, what happened? They would get up, and he would get back in the game. And that this was that moment was an epiphany to me. If I put myself out there, somebody comes at me really mean and really nasty, bam, feels like that, right? It hurts.
Boom. Yes.
Ooh, that hurts. And then I fall down, but I'll get up again. I'll get up again. So after that football game, and again, I'm not a sports person at all. After that football game, I went home, I wrote a pattern, and I put it out there. I put it out there. And lo and behold, there was a very nasty comment. And I remember sitting in my kitchen room in Portland, Oregon. It was a beautiful spring day. And there was this comment saying, who do you think you are? It's just a stupid rectangle with a really easy cable in the middle. Who do you think you are? Oh, Sarah, that felt like a dagger.
Ouch.
It was a dagger in my heart. And
So unkind.
I was like, wow, I put this pattern out for free. And I really worked.
Oh, it wasn't a pay pattern, and they were giving you that kind of smack.
And I immediately slipped into the victim role. I was like, oh, this hurts, and I shouldn't have done this. And I literally cried. I literally cried behind my computer at my kitchen table. I literally cried. And then I took a deep breath, and I thought about that football game. And I said to myself, Nancy, get up. Get up. So I got up. I did not remove the comment. I left it. And my neighbor, she knocked on my door that day, and she said, Nancy, I saw the comment. And I just wanted to say to this person, you don't know who Nancy is. Nancy is so cute, and Nancy has a cute little house, and she has flowers in front of her porch, and she's the sweetest. And I said to her, when you put yourself out there, anybody can say anything they want to you, and you just have to take it. You just have to take it. But this story has a beautiful ending. Because her comment was public, other knitters saw it too, and they just slammed this commenter. Other knitters spoke up for me, and they said, please don't do this. She's a new knitter. She just put out something, and she may be proud of that, and it's okay for her to put out something, and
you don't have to make it.
You don't have to make it. Let's just encourage one another. But and at some point there was a tipping point. At some point, the comments to this initial nasty commenter, all the comments became so much that it was disproportionate. So I had to step in, and I had to say, everybody has the right to leave a comment. Let's just, let's just all calm down, and let's just all take a deep breath, and it's all right. I'm okay. So let's just continue. And then somebody said, wow, Nancy, you have arrived. There's drama. And I have to say, this drama thing that happened pulled a lot of people to my blog. A lot of people came to, because, when there's a fight, people are like, oh, there's a fight. What's going on? Is there drama? So it pulled a lot of people to my blog. So all in all, I say to this nasty commenter, thank you for the free marketing that you have given me. So everybody out there, look, when you put yourself out there, two things can happen. People can love your work. People, they have the right to love your work. They have the right to hate your work. So you have to be aware of that. You're not for everybody, and everybody is not for you. And people can just, they could say whatever they want to say, and it's up to you how you will react to that. And it's up to you how you take that in, I would say to you, have clear boundaries. Have clear boundaries, and if somebody is nasty to you, it's more that they are going through something difficult. They are going through something difficult. Keep on putting out your work, and if and you have the right to block a person, you have the right to delete a comment if it's really really completely nasty. So you are in charge of your environment, and you are in charge of your work. You show self leadership, and try not to have it get to you. And I know this is hard. I know this is hard, but we can support each other in that, because there's a lot of nastiness out there, and you have to say to yourself, I love what I do. I put this out there, and I'm gonna keep on going. Just like the football game where, damn, one football player goes into another, and then they tumble and fall, but you get up. Okay,
Yes.
so get up, and put your work out there, because we need you.
We need you.
We need you. We need your work.
So we were talking a little bit before we went live how people are discouraged. Designers that you've come in contact with recently are discouraged from continuing.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do to support designers?
So we as designers, we put out our work, and I would like to ask the industry. So that means yarn companies, and also knitters and yarn shop owners, everybody who's in the yarn industry. Please also understand the value of the work that knitwear designers put out there. Also, very important, a knitwear designer puts their work out there, and if somebody doesn't know how to do a knit together, or if somebody doesn't know how to do a certain technique, it is not the responsibility of the knitwear designer to teach. A knitwear designer does not have to teach, and a lot of knitwear designers are not teachers. All they do is, these are my instructions, I put it out there, and it is not your responsibility to teach. It is not. If you ask $6, $8, $10 for your pattern, that amount is for the instructions, and that amount of $8 doesn't mean that you are now responsible to teach the knitter how to do knit together, how to do slip knit, how to do whatever technique there's out there. It's not your responsibility. You need to know, what is my responsibility and what is the responsibility of the knitter. It is $8. So for $8, people are now going to expect from you that you're going to teach them how to do this technique and this technique and this technique and this technique, and they're going to expect from you that you need to hold their hand for $8. Knitwear designers, this is not your responsibility, and you have the right to say, these $8 are merely for the instructions. It's do it yourself, and it is your responsibility to figure things out. When I was a new knitter, there was nobody I could turn to, and I was so happy that people would put out video instructions or video tutorials to help me. And a lot of times people did that from the kindness of their heart. They wouldn't charge for it. So
Right.
knitwear designers, you need to be very clear of what is your responsibility and what is not your responsibility. Knitters, you need to show some self-leadership, and you need to also accept what is your responsibility and what is the responsibility for the knitwear designer, the pattern writer. Please, it is too much from a knitwear designer to expect from them to hold your hand throughout the whole process. It is too much for a knitwear designer to teach you everything. That you can't expect that from a knitwear designer, unless this knitwear designer is a teacher.
Right.
And unless this knitwear designer says, I'm a teacher, I do video tutorials, you can find me here and here and here, I have online courses. Unless this knitwear designer communicates that with you, but not everybody is a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So I want the industry to, I want to invite the industry to be aware of that. Please be aware of that. Yeah.
And that also opens the door for the designer to be really good at designing.
Yes.
Like you said, it's a different skill set to
It's a different,
teach
it's a different skill set to teach.
than it is to design and pattern write.
Yes, yes. And you know, sometimes I want to put a disclaimer. The $8 that you spent on my pattern does not include hand holding, does not include that I teach you for, come on, for $8. You can't, please, you can't expect that from somebody that puts out patterns. Plus, oh, now I get all fired up. Plus, the yarn company sells the yarn, and that's it. That's it. They don't
They
have
don't tell you even how to wash it sometimes.
the yarn company sells the yarn, and the yarn company is done.
Right.
Here's the knitwear designer that puts out a pattern, and they have to like they have to deal with all these questions, and then this and then that. It's a burden. It's like a disproportionate burden on a knitwear designer. And I know that there will be knitters out there that are not happy that I say this. I know that, and that's totally fine. Don't ever buy my pattern if you're triggered by what I'm saying right now. Do not buy my pattern if you are triggered. Don't do it. Go somewhere else. It's okay. I am not for everybody, and everybody is not for me, but I gotta say what I need to say so that you understand where I'm coming from, so you can decide, oh, this one over there doesn't want to hold my hand for $8. I'm not gonna buy a pattern for her. Then don't.
There's something to be said in our industry to encourage knitters to take agency for their work.
Yes.
You're creating it with your hands. It's your yarn. You purchased it.
Yes.
And for taking responsibility to create something that works for them instead of
Great.
shifting blame to a pattern writer or to a designer. If something doesn't work out on their needles, it's unfortunate that some makers feel that it's the designer's responsibility that the thing at my house didn't work.
Yeah.
So
And again, you know, by me voicing this, I know I will trigger a lot of people. So be it. It's okay, but please don't expect from a knitwear designer that you paid a pattern for $8. Please don't expect from them that they will rewrite the pattern for you because for whatever reason, or don't expect from them that they teach you every technique in that pattern, or don't expect from them to hold your hand throughout the whole process, because you're not the only one. There's like thousands and thousands of knitters out there, and do you really expect this knitwear designer to cater to all these thousand knitters? A knitwear designer will be totally burned out, and it's happening.
yeah,
Happening. There's a lot of knitwear designers that are completely burned out. They don't know if they want to do this anymore, and it breaks my heart because there are such talented people out there, and they want to throw in the towel because the burden is too big. And again, I know I will trigger people. I will trigger people by saying this.
Let's encourage designers to design,
Yes.
design more that we
Yes.
can do more beautiful things.
Exactly. I love you, designers. I love you. I want you to keep showing up.
Yes, yes. So let's talk about that. What advice would you give to a designer that's just starting out? So boundaries obviously are important, like what you said, boundaries on what's your responsibility as a designer.
Yes. Okay, new designers out there, and for every designer out there, first and foremost, please make sure that you enjoy what you do. First and foremost, ask yourself the question, does this give me joy? Does this give me energy? If the answer to those questions is yes, go for it. Then ask yourself the question, this piece that I'm creating, do I love it? Do I love it? Because first and foremost, it starts with you. You need to love it. You need to love everything about the piece that you are creating. Everything about it, you need to love. Because if you love it and other people are not interested in it, that's okay because you love it. And if you're going to create because you're thinking, maybe they will like this. I don't really like this, but I think the audience will like this. So let me just create that. What will happen at some point, you're going to create resentment because what you're creating is you don't really love it. You're creating it because you think the audience will buy it. So it's a completely different way of creating. And I want you to understand that you are an artist. You are an artist and your creativity needs to be honored. And the person that it starts with is you. Please honor your creativity. Please honor the work that you do. And that is number one, number one, number one, number one. You need to love it first and foremost. Then comes then comes time to put out your pattern. That's scary. There's a lot of designers, they're not scared anymore because they're like, put it out, put it out, put it out. But for those who never did that before, to do that for the first time, that's scary. And I've been there. And I was completely by myself. I didn't have like a support group, nothing. I was like all by myself, putting it out there, fingers crossed, and hoping that everything will be okay. And that's really anxiety inducing until this day when I put out a pattern. Whew, there's a lot of anxiety. I literally can't sleep the night before. I'm just up all night, and once I put it out there, I'm hoping that everything is okay and that people will react to it well. But then I have to say to myself, Nancy, you put it out there right now. Take a deep breath and just let things happen. So yeah, have the courage to put it out there, and also realize that if people don't like your pattern, that's life. Again, I'm gonna say it. You're not for everybody, and everybody is not for you. Just so realize that, and I'm gonna invite you not to shoot in the victim role because it's really easy to shoot in that victim role, like nobody likes my patterns, nobody buys my patterns, and then you wallow in this victim role. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to wallow in your victim role. It's okay. Just get it out. Get it out. But then you say to yourself, get up. Get up. Get up. Maybe I should do things differently. Maybe something with my marketing that wasn't right. Maybe I should find other venues. But try to get up and try. Get up and try and get up and try because knitwear designers, you know what I'm talking about. If you're knitting on a piece, you're making a piece, it doesn't work out. So you take it out and you try again. And then it doesn't work out. Take it out, try again. Sometimes 6 times, sometimes 10 times. You've all been there. I know that. I know you've all been there. But you keep on going, right? You keep on going because you have that design, you have that vision, and you want to reach that vision, and you keep on trying. You get up, you keep on trying, you keep on trying. Same thing with marketing. Same thing comes that time to put out your pattern. Same thing. It's exactly the same thing. You try, you put it out, you try again, you put it out, and then you ask yourself, maybe I should do it smarter next time. Maybe I should do a collaboration with a yarn dyer. Maybe I should do an interview with Tech Tip Talk so that I will get yeah, I will get more exposure.
Yes.
You know, but most importantly also, and now we're heading into the marketing things, the marketing field. Most importantly, how do you separate yourself from other designers? How do I separate myself? Because there's a lot of competitors. I'm going to stop you right there. If you if you have the mindset of, oh, there's all my competitors, all these competitors out there, that's a mindset of scarcity. May I invite you? May I invite you to ask yourself, the pie is big enough. There is enough for all of us.
Yes.
And all these beautiful knitwear designers, these beautiful creators, these wonderful creators, I am part of this community of fantastic creators. Wow, I'm part of that. I'm part of that. The pie is big enough for all of us.
Yes.
If this one has success, doesn't mean that it's my downfall.
That's right.
Or if this designer sells a lot of patterns, doesn't mean that that is my downfall. So may I invite you to have a different mindset? May I invite you to think about it this way? Wow, all these people that are putting out their work, and I am part of this community. I put out my work. So may I ask you to work from that mindset that you are bringing something beautiful to the community, and that the pie is big enough, and that you need to do things smarter. But then how do you put yourself out there so that people know who you are? Tell your story. What is
Yeah.
your story? What is your story? My story is, I'm from the Netherlands. I came to the United States in 2005. I learned how to knit, and I started to design knitwear because I didn't know how to read patterns. So that's my story. My story now is, I live in New York City. I walk around in the city, because you can see on my social media handle that I take you along with me through New York City. Also, most of you that follow me know I have a little dog, Nacho. So
Yes.
now, Nacho. So now I'm not now. I have a whole story. Now it's not. Oh yeah, this woman that lives in the USA that puts out pattern. No, no. Now I'm very specific. Yeah, that lady who lives in New York City. Which lady who lives in New York City? There are so many knitwear designers in New York. Yeah, yeah, that lady who's from Amsterdam, the Netherlands. That one. Oh, that one. Oh, yeah, the one with the little dog called Nacho. Oh, yeah, yeah, I know her. So this way, I'm very specific with my story, and then people will know. People, oh yeah, that lady who was from Amsterdam, she came to New York City. She has this cute little dog. So this is the way how you separate. So I find that it's a hard word for me to say, to separate, because I don't want you to separate. I want you to be aware that you are one with the community. But tell
This is
you,
how you shine.
yes,
I
your
mean,
story.
it's your sparkle. It's your shining.
Thank you. It's your sparkle. We all have our sparkle. So show your sparkle. Show who
Yeah.
you are. If you
Right.
if you're out there and you say, I have a new pattern, buy it here. We have a new pattern. Did you get yours? No, that doesn't work. Tell your story. We
There's
want to know who you are.
I think it's important because you mentioned having community, not thinking about competition. And the reason why is we love to connect with each other.
Yes.
So telling your story allows your makers to connect with you,
Yes.
to be invested even in who you are as a designer. They want to know more about you, and they want to see what you produce, because
Exactly.
your art becomes important to them when they connect with you.
Yes, exactly. So I'm curious who you are. And yes, you put out beautiful patterns, but who's the person behind the product? I would
Mm.
love to know more about you, because
And
then go ahead.
And that doesn't mean that you have to tell everybody all your dirty secrets,
Yeah.
or to to the point where your privacy is invaded. You can tell who you are without with in a general way, even, or
Exactly.
in a way that doesn't invite weirdos.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm happy you said that, because I'm married. I'm happily married. But do you ever see my husband on my social media handles? Never.
Mm-mm.
We have a very strict rule, my husband and I. My husband doesn't like that, and I respect that. So you will never ever see my husband on my Instagram feed, unless my husband says, okay, you can post that picture of me, you can post that story. But so you have to set boundaries around that too.
Yeah, that's excellent. All right, the next question we have is, what are you excited about now?
There is I'm very very excited about something that I'm working on, but I cannot talk about it. I'm very
Secret.
excited, and very soon there will be an announcement, but I can't talk about it. Can't spill the beans, so you'll have to
But
wait.
there's so much excitement.
I can't spill the beans. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm also excited about a knit collage make along that will be launching soon, because I love working with knit collage, and there's this one designer that I'm particularly in love with, and I hope that her design will make it through the survey. So I'm very excited to jump on the knit collage make along, and I'm very excited to if this pattern from this designer is being chosen. I'm so excited to make her pattern, because I just can sit back and follow the instructions and just make. I'm very, very excited about that. So that's what I also want to say to knitwear designers. Please also make sure that you get somebody else's pattern and then make the pattern without even having to think about it, and just follow the instructions, because that's also your joy. You became a knitwear designer because you love knitting. That's why you became a knitwear designer, no? So please make sure to enjoy also what you do.
Yes. No, we've already talked a lot about the things that you love in our industry and why you're even here after so many years. But tell me something more. What do you love about being in the yarn industry and in the knitting pattern industry?
Okay, everybody, listen up. If I say, oh my gosh, I have this beautiful yarn, and if I say, oh, this color, look at this beautiful color, and then you get the chills. You all know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah,
Because
I
you've
do.
been there. This medium is absolutely so beautiful. And then the indie dyers out there that dye the yarn, and I'm like, oh my, look at this color. It just takes my breath away. And then somebody else will say, I got that too. I got that reaction too. So it's a like-minded people. It's it's not feeling weird when you say, oh my god, I love yarn so much. So I'm with like-minded people. I'm with people that love yarn and love color just as much as I do. And then I make an item, and then I say, and then I wear the item, and then I feel so happy. I feel beautiful. Look at this beautiful item that I made. And then we make a picture, take a picture, put it on Instagram, and everybody's like, yeah, look, she made that. Or when you walk down the street and somebody says, what a beautiful sweater you're wearing. Where did you get that? And then you say, I made it. It's fantastic. It's awesome. And then the people you can connect with, and then you sit together and you knit together, and you marvel at each other's project, and you marvel at each other's yarn. That is so beautiful. That fulfills me. Just happy, happy, happy feelings. Just ah, grateful feelings.
I love it.
I love what I love about this industry. And everybody creates unapologetically.
Yes.
Everybody wants to create. Everybody wants to make something really beautiful. I love that. I love that.
And we all want to see what you're making. Like we all want to touch it, and we all want to please show us.
Yes, and also what I find, I was in I have been doing business courses lately, online business courses, and we are being taught to really understand what it is that we're doing, and to really deeply feel our why. Why are you doing this? Why are you dyeing yarn? Why do you like knitwear patterns and sell it? Why? What is it that drives you? So we were really put on a spot, and we had to say why it is this thing. Why do we do it? And immediately I thought about the knit alongs that I put out. I've been doing some knit alongs in the past, and I provide free video tutorials. And I'm going to say it again. They're free video tutorials. uh, and then for somebody to say, I'm scared, I never did a sweater pattern, I'm scared, I don't know how to do it, and then I would say, watch the video tutorials, you can do it.
Yes.
And then to see this knitter, how they were scared, and then how they arrive at the other end of fear, and then they make this item, and they feel so accomplished, and they say, I didn't think I could make a sweater, and I made a sweater. And then I asked them, take a picture and post it on Instagram. Oh no, I'm scared. I don't look good. I don't think I can do it. And I said, we are here to cheer you on. You look beautiful in your sweater. Show us how beautiful you look in your sweater. And if you're still scared, take a picture of you wearing the sweater and just send it to me through a DM. And sometimes they do that. And I see them like with a beautiful smile on their face, and they feel so happy and accomplished, and they look absolutely radiant in their sweater. And that's my why. That's my why. To see a person making an item that they didn't think they could make it, or to see a person blossom because they don't think they're beautiful. Somehow they told themselves that they're not beautiful, and then that they wear this sweater, and then they take a picture of themselves, and then I see them, and then I'm like, oh my God, you're gorgeous. Look at you. And I see them all blossom. Wow, Sarah, that's my why. That's my why.
It's transformative. And you're a fear slayer. You slay those fears for us, Nancy. I encourage it.
Good,
So
good.
awesome. Now we're wrapping this up. We're coming to the end of our time together. So if any of you here live have a question for Nancy before we close, throw it into the comments. So we ask every one of our guests the same question. What's your favorite knitting or crochet notion? Like, what's a tool or a notion that you cannot live without?
I cannot live without my knit check. My just little knit check.
What is a knit check?
It's called knit check. It's where you can check your gauge, and where you can put your needles through to figure out what size it is.
Yes.
I have to have that. I need to measure my gauge, and I need to know if when you have a needle and it
Mhm.
came off, what size it is.
Yeah, because they don't always have the number on the needle itself, but you can't read it.
Yes, yes, yeah. That's
Love
my
it.
favorite. That's my favorite notion of all is my knit check, because I'm a knitwear designer. I need to check my gauge. I need to know my gauge. That's
Yeah.
it's crucial for me to know how many stitches per inch I have.
And Leslie in the comments says, "Thank you so much, Nancy. I needed this today."
You're so welcome, Leslie, and everybody's. When I talk, I cannot read the comments because then I get distracted. So I'm sorry if you said something to me. If you said hi to me, I want to say hi back. And if you ask me something, I'm sorry. If I talk, I have to talk. If I look at the comments and then talk, I get all distracted. So I'm sorry if I didn't react to you. Okay.
I get it. So tell us where people can find you online.
So you can
We
find.
need to follow what you're doing because obviously you got something exciting coming up.
Yeah, I got something very exciting coming up. Oh, my heart is just bursting at the seams, but I have to. Okay. So you can follow me on Instagram. I'm very visible on Instagram at Getting Pearly with It, and Pearly, of course, with PU, at Getting Pearly with It. I am most visible on Instagram. You can also find me on Ravelry, but I am taking steps back from Ravelry. I'm actually taking all of my patterns off of Ravelry and have them accessible through to another platform and ultimately my own website. But at Getting Pearly with It, Instagram, that's where you can always find me.
And I threw it out into the comments, and I would suggest you all follow, especially for the stories. I love when you go on walkabout in New York
Yes.
City, and I get to go see this beautiful city. I love it.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I really enjoy doing that, and I really enjoy telling stories of others around me. And my biggest dream is to do something where I talk to people in our industry, and they tell me their story, and that they allow me to tell their story. That would be that would be so awesome for me to do, because we all carry this beautiful story, and we all also have unsaid stories. And um, if you share a story with me and you allow me to share your story, oh my God, that would be the best. I would be so honored.
I love it. So thank you for being here, Nancy. We've got through all of our questions. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes. When is your book coming out?
Ah, I'm so glad you asked.
The book.
So let me create a banner real quick. Our book is available, and I didn't do this ahead of time, sorry, for pre-orders.
Yes, the book about.
And our book is available for pre-orders. It will be published in September of this year. And if you, let me see if I can find a picture of the cover. We actually have a picture of the cover, which is really exciting.
Fantastic.
And the reason why is our illustrator got it exactly right. So let me present. So our illustrator is from Pittsburgh. Her name is Lucy Engelman. And let me see if I can share the picture of what it looks like here. This is what it looks like. The Knitting Pattern Writing Handbook. How to write great patterns that knitters will love to make. We're getting endorsements in from knitwear designers right now, and everybody says that they want everybody to read it. And we hope that you will also read it. If you head to our website now, the book is available for pre-orders and will be in your hands in September. So the exciting part about this, Nancy, is that it's small. We wanted it to be the size that would fit in your project bag, so you can refer to it.
I will definitely order it. Oh, there's one last thing I want to say if we have time.
Yes.
Time. Okay. For the longest, I have done everything myself, from designing to writing to grading to putting out the pattern. And I've had 2 patterns, actually 3 patterns, that I've been procrastinating putting it out there, because I have finally come to realize I can't do everything by myself. And I have finally come to realize something that I have a hard time with. I have a very hard time with asking for help. That's this thing. That's a thing that I struggle with. I am the oldest in my I'm the oldest daughter, and because I'm the oldest daughter, you have to do everything. You know, this notion, you're the oldest one, you know best, and you have to figure it out. So from childhood, I always needed to figure out things myself, and it has helped me to a certain point, but it has also worked against me. And I now will will speak out that I can't do everything by myself. It's too much. All the grading, all the pattern writing, it's so anxiety inducing for me, but I never wanted to ask for help. So now publicly, I'm asking for help. Sarah, Christina, I need help. I can't do everything by myself. And I'm finally ready to let it go. Let it go, because that's also, you want to, I want to stay in control, because if a knitter has a question, then I want to know how to answer them, because I did the grading myself. I'm responsible. My feeling of responsibility is so high that at times it works against me. Instead of helping me, it becomes my enemy. And in order to make this enemy my friend, because that's how you obliterate your enemy, to make it your friend. In order to make this enemy my friend, I need to ask for help, and I need to reach out for help. So I'm asking you, Christina and Sarah, can you please help me? I can't do this. I feel like
look at her. She's spent from saying it.
it's really hard. It's really hard for me to ask help. Like I'm like, oh, I need help.
But when you open up and you ask and you admit that you need help, is when the universe can provide the very best.
Yes,
we'll work with you for sure. We'll find a way to get you the help that you need.
Because I need help.
We spent a lot of time talking with we've spent a lot of time talking with people who struggle with finding an editor. Like they're like, I don't know who do I get and what do I do? And and they're full of this. The fact of the matter is working with a great editor can be one of the biggest collaborative supports, I, as an editor, became the #1 cheerleader of all of my clients. I want to see them succeed.
Yes, yes.
And so getting connected to an editor in a way that is collaborative, where they're working with you to help boost you and support you and make your patterns fantastic. I'm sure every one of the designers in the chat right here could tell you, working with an editor that fits your person and your personality and your work style can be life-changing. So
yes. So that, yeah, like just uttering that question just made me feel like, oh, like, whew, there's help. I don't have to do everything myself.
no, you don't.
And so really lastly, I want to say, let's be supportive of each other and let's encourage one another.
Yes.
And I also understand we're living in we are in an environment where video now becomes very important. Video on Instagram, video on YouTube, and what is asked now from knitwear designers, can you make a video tutorial? And I understand that that can be intimidating. I started to do video tutorials because I can't shut up about the thing that I do. I can't shut up about it.
Please don't. Yes.
So I figure things out, and then I go deep into how do I actually make a video tutorial? What material should I have? What is the lighting that I need? Do I need a microphone? So that's overwhelming. That's really overwhelming. And then, oh my God, all these techniques, and do I need an app to edit, and I don't know how to do it. It can be overwhelming.
Yes.
And I've been asking myself, what can I do for the community to help you? And since I have walked that path of making video tutorials, and mind you, I do not use any fancy equipment. You know what I use? I use my phone.
Yes.
Use my phone. And before I had lighting, I would sit by my window, my bedroom window, and I sometimes I would kick my husband out. That's I need to make a video tutorial. I would sit by my bedroom window for the lighting. So I figured out how to do stuff in a very simple way that is not overwhelming. Also, the editing I do on my phone with a very simple app. It's not difficult. If I can do it, you can do it. So I'm thinking about what value can I bring to this community, and I really, for the longest, I wanted to put some online courses to help you with simple things like these, because we're heading into an environment, into a new space, where it's going to be expected from you as a knitwear designer to maybe put out a little video tutorial here and there. And I know there's resistance because I'm a knitwear designer. I don't know how to do video tutorials, but it will help you if you know a little bit, And also if you tell your story on video, if you know how to make this little tiny video telling who you are.
What's your story?
That can also be overwhelming. So maybe it's time for me, and it's the first time I am actually speaking this out. Maybe it's time for me to help others in the industry, professionals, to tell their story and to be a little bit more visible using video, and how to make a video tutorial. Maybe it's time that I do an offer. Hey, I have this course. Would you like to join? And let's see if there's interest in that.
That's fantastic. Let's see where it goes. I'm excited for you, Nancy. I'm so excited for you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you everyone for joining us live. Our next broadcast is going to be on May 15th, same time, same place. And we have a very special broadcast planned because it is the 3-year anniversary of Tech Tip Talk. And so I hope you will join us. This broadcast is made possible by the support of our patrons. If you are interested in becoming a patron of Tech Tip Talk, come on and join us on Patreon. It's really simple to find us. There's a link on our website, or you can just head to patreon.com and type in Tech Tip Talk and find us. We have a fabulous community of designers and tech editors working together to help each other through problems. Plus, we share all of our projects that, our current knitting that we're working on for ourselves and our cooking, and we love to chat. So come on and join us. Thank you for being here, Nancy. I'm going to wrap up today. Thank you, everyone, for being here live, and we'll see you next month. Bye.